But before we get to the 49ers preview, you guys know, if you've been following our show, I give my prediction. And I started 2 weeks ago to do something different. And I've been getting people hit me in the DM. Pat P said, listen, can you keep picking against? Hey, they said, can you keep picking the other team? Can you please continue to pick the other team? And you know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to pay attention. So last week, against the Chargers, I picked the Chargers. The Vikings won. Last week, I picked the Green Bay Packers, right? And that score, my score prediction for the Green Bay Packers, the final score in the real game was 34-31 Minnesota. My score prediction was 31-24, something like that, in favor of the Green Bay Packers. So this week, my prediction, before we get into the preview, the Minnesota Vikings, you know what? Should I do preview first? Or should I do the prediction first? I'm already here now.
Oh, you hear that? You
Minnesota Vikings, San Francisco 49ers prediction, score prediction. Oh, you guys go out there to the Bay Area too, right?
Bay Area. Hey, I'm going to be crisp too. Ooh, I can't wait.
Oh, man. Let's go. Okay. Ooh. 27-23. The San Francisco 49ers win 27-23.
See,
Nostradamus has spoken. But now, I know I gave my prediction earlier. I don't care. It's time to preview the Minnesota Vikings, San Francisco preview game. That's the next opponent for the Minnesota Vikings. Anyway, I talked about the aforementioned Deebo Samuel. He's an offensive weapon. But how do you prepare for a guy that does so much? He lines up everywhere in the football field, and you know he's a big-time playmaker for the offense.
It's going to be tough because, I was actually talking about this today with a colleague, and we were just talking about, how difficult it is to game plan for him because normal receivers that line up in the backfield, they call that a zoo formation. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to motion out of the backfield and go back to his original position. But not with Deebo. The entire playbook is still wide open. He still can run the ball. They're still going to pass the ball. They still got screens out of it. Like he's that dynamic of a player to where whatever position that he's in, that's the type of player that he is. He's that diverse to where he's able to, pretty much play any position on the offensive side of the ball. And his toughness alone, says enough about his game. When a guy can play not only running back, and receiver and throw blocks and, being one of the, top guys with yards after the catch. I think he only 1,000 yards this year, second in the league.
994. He has 994 receiving yards.
So you can tell that he's evolving into a receiver, but he's still a playmaker at the same time. So game planning for a guy like that is difficult. We have to understand and know where he is at all times because we know that he's definitely a spark plug for that offense. And we just have to try our best to not let him get going early. But we know he's a PTPer, man. He's a game time performer, and we know at some point, he's gonna, have his opportunity. So, but we just have to make sure that those opportunities are very slim.
But talking about another receiver that has emerged to be a real playmaker for the offense, Brandon Aiyuk. First 7 weeks, only 16 targets, 9 receptions, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown. But the last 4 weeks, especially with Jimmy G being healthy, he's seen 26 targets, caught 20 of those targets for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a huge game last week against Jacksonville. So what type of challenge will he present for the defense?
He's a vertical guy, a guy that can definitely take the top off the defense. But he can also run all the routes in the route tree. You see him running those 7 stops, the deep bite routes. Bite route is basically when the team comes in a condensed formation, which all receivers are typically running out of an ace formation. But all the receivers both receivers are inside the numbers and just running like a 18 to 20 yard stop route. He's the guy that run a lot of same thing in the condensed formation, post over. Deebo is typically like the over guy.
Boy, it sounds like you've been watching a lot of film.
Yeah, Aiyuk and what's my man name? Came out with me out of Miami. Travis Benjamin. Those are the guys that's going to be pretty much running the big post. So just understanding what guys are, for the most part, and I think that's what slowed the game down for me tremendously, just watching film and understand, their strong suits of their game and what offensive coordinators how they want to put their players in positions to be successful. But Brandon is a very unique talent. To get back on him, very unique talent, a guy that can, like I said, run all the routes, but he's also fast enough and do have the speed that could take the top off the defense.
Oh, that boy been in the film room. I know, like in Pittsburgh sometime, and when Bill Cowher was there, he'll hit you with a question. So, hey, Pat P, what are the favorite? Name me 3 favorite big time routes that Deebo Samuel likes to run.
Yeah,
you got to give him third down situation. What do they look? What's their go to red zone killers? What they like in the red zone? That boy Pat P just named off just real smooth the favorite routes that certain guys like. Whoa, boy, in his bag. In the day, man, you got what 5 days away from the game or something like that, right? What was it?
Yeah, somebody started yesterday, man. Right after the game, enjoy that win on the ride home.
Yeah,
I get home, I'm on the next opponent, man. I watch our film. I watch the game. I watch the game from what I just played in, and then after that, have some dinner with the family, do our thing, and I'm watching the next opponent before I go to bed.
It don't stop. It don't stop. How important is this ball game when it comes to playoff implications for you guys?
This is big. Like we talked about 2 weeks ago, November, December is playoff football. You can't afford, especially what we did to ourselves early in the year. We can't afford to lose any game.
No question.
9 times out of 10, if we get some help from Green Bay to continue to lose or whatever the case may be, if they decide to, you know what I mean, and we end up taking over the division, that'd be great. But how things are looking now, we got to pack our stuff up and go on the road. You know what I mean? And this is the NFC opponent, so we're looking at this as a playoff game. You know what I mean? No
question. And they are too.
No doubt,
because they're 5-5 as well.
Right. So every game is big. To me, in my mind, we got 7 games up. Every game is a playoff game.
Yes.
And that's how you gain that mentality and get hot to where when you get in the playoff, like, oh, we've been here before. You know what I mean? We did this before. We did this week 11, week 12. Let's get it, boys.
Yeah. And in this ball game, the Packers are 3-point favorites. The total was 40. I mean, not the Packers. The 49ers, my bad. The 49ers are a 3-point favorite. The total is 40.5. I love the Vikings in the first quarter. I love the Vikings in the first half. I gave my prediction as well. My prediction, if you guys are just tuning in to us, the Vikings do better when I pick the other team to win. Eric, what was my prediction again? I said 27-21.
27-23.
27-23, San Francisco 49ers win. Let's go.
Let's go.